So you don't struggle because you're too strong. You actually struggle because your body learned that needing was unsafe. As simple that is. So hyperdependence isn't a personality trait. It's more like a survival language. And most women who carry it were never taught how to rest inside the body, inside the relationship. They were more taught how to cope inside the absence. And that's different. So today I want to speak about the part of you that learned to become an adult very early in your life. The part that became capable before it became really held, and that part that built a life before it learned how to receive one. And because hyper-independence doesn't look the same in every single woman. It actually, I call them in words, different archetypal masks. And each mask has a story, because I do believe each woman has a story, and each of the women has an incredible story to tell. Because that archetypal mask, it actually tells something about what they've been going through and what the actually life experience is. So, but some women going into like categories or archetypes, some of them going to overperformers, and this is very common now. So if you're one of those, you learn early that love or praise come with when you achieved something. So when you were impressive, when you didn't cause any trouble, so you became the good girl, so you became the excellent one, reliable, the productive, and your nervous system learned that I am safe and I am valuable. And now, when even that rest feels like a risk at this point, right? So even softness feels like sometimes even undeserved. And you don't stop. You optimize it, you do all the things, you keep going, you have all this to-do list, and because somewhere in your body simply lives that kind of a core belief, a code, a program, like if I slow down, I will disappear. So for those type of women, like the body is very, very tense, always on a go, always do, right? They find it really hard to slow down. Some of the women become like hyper-dependent queens, so very common right now in our society. So if you're one of those, you didn't probably have anyone you could lean into. So what you did, you lean on yourself for all your life, especially when you were younger. You really learn that I'm the safest when I am in control. This is where controlling pattern stems from, right? So you don't ask, you manage, you lead. You can hold the entire world on your shoulders, all the emotional labor sometimes, but inside there is a quiet grief. The little girl is grieving that I don't know what it feels like to be held. It's not fantasy. It's your actually body. Your strength is real, tell you that, but it's forged from absence, and that's a difference. Another archetype that is very common is a silent holder. So these type of women, if you resonate with that, you felt everything, but you learn not to show it. You become silent. You become the one who didn't burden others, who stayed calm. You didn't need much. Your nervous system learned that connection is preserved through self-containment. And so now you feel very deeply. You share very lightly. You carry the entire emotional landscape alone. And because you learn that expression costs you a belonging. So you actually became silent, contain everything is inside of you that is ready to explode, right? But it's danger. For your body is a danger until you decode it, right? So some of them will become a fixer. It's very common right now. So you learn that love meant being useful. That safety comes from solving other people's pain. So you turn to know everybody else, right? You learned to read rooms, read everyone else's mood, your anticipated needs. Your body simply learned in that case that I belong when I'm needed, and now your nervous system, your body is really relaxes when other people are regulated. Energy constantly out, right? Nothing comes back. but then tightens when you need. Feel it here. And the receiving sometimes feels like it's a reversal, and reversal sometimes often feels like a danger. And some of you became numb avoiders. You felt too much for too long. That's how to best explain it. So, and no one knew how to meet you there. So your body did something very intelligent. This is a pure intelligence of the body. This is the way I see it now. So it dimmed. It learned how not to feel, how not to ache, how not to hope, how not to put expectations. So your system learned that I am safe, that I am untouched. And so now really that aliveness feels really unfamiliar, and intimacy feels intrusive, and stillness feels hollow. Not because you're broken, it's because your body protected you from overwhelm. That's the way kind of put it, right? And every single archetype is intelligence. It's very intelligent. It's a survival. And it really, got you here where it was a good place to be, right? It works until it doesn't. And every of those archetypes began as a solution at some point in your life, right? So it didn't become this way just by accident. Your nervous system adapted to an environment that required you to at that point in your life. So hyper-independence is not an ego, it's simply a memory. I call it a memory, like the word memory, remembrance, right? It's what happens when your body learns that there's no one to lean into. So it leans inwards. It's simply that it becomes self-sourced, self-contained, self-sufficient. But here is the truth that most of them are never being told. You can be powerful and supported. You can be capable and held. You can be strong and soft. So your independence doesn't need to die. I tell you that. You can't get rid of that part of you. It's already there. It's a gift at this point. But what we need to do, we need to liberate that strength from the fear. Because right now, for many of you, strength isn't as a choice. It's actually a reflex, like knee-jerk reflex at this point. So the real liberation, the coding freedom begins when that strength becomes optional. So there is no need. It becomes option. So let me ask you just gently, when you imagine being fully supported, what happens in your body? Does your chest soften or tighten? Does your breath deepen or hold? Your response is the real story. Not what you think, not what your body remembers. So this work isn't about becoming dependent, let's say. It's more about teaching your nervous system that connection no longer equals danger. And that's different. That needing doesn't really erase you. That being held makes you feel small or weak. And also the most important thing, that can rest, can feel safe, because this is what women tend to lose. Here's a small practice you can try tonight, whenever you feel like it's aligned with you, just to choose one low risk moment of receiving. So it could be as simple as that. Let someone to open the door, carry something, choose for you. And when you feel your body tensing, don't override it, don't judge it, don't comment it. Just feel that discomfort and breathe and say inwardly that this is new. This is new. That's only new. It's not dangerous. And that discomfort that you feel, that is not weakness. That is your nervous system learning a new future. This is how we repatterning safety. This is how we start feeling safety within our bodies more and more. So hyper-independence kept you alive, but doesn't have to ruin your life anymore. So you don't need to stop being strong. You just need to stop being alone inside your strength. And that is different. So this is the work we do inside Decode in my one-on-one containers. So we don't disminute your power. We teach your body that it no longer has to carry everything itself alone. And if it spoke to you, if there's something triggered within you, inside of you, in your body, you can begin with free archetype ebook where I teach all the archetypes and where they come from, and maybe can resonate some of them and see how you can actually overcome that and shift in a different direction. But if you're ready for deeper work, you can always join a Decode and start full training, So your body, this work is not because you're broken. I have to tell you that. This work because you finally feel safe enough to soften. This is when only this woman find this kind of work, because they're ready to finally soften.